Hi, I'm Deborah Gray, and this is my son Lawrence. Lawrence and I both suffer from depression, and we found that mindfulness activities can be really helpful. Mindfulness is basically the practice of being present in the moment. So, since none of us are really good at being in the moment without any practice, there are certain activities you can do that can make you better at that. So some of the benefits, especially for people with anxiety and depression, are for depression, so mindfulness activities reduce stress. Stress exacerbates depression. So you always want to get rid of stress in whatever way possible. And the other way that mindfulness helps with depression is it can help you stop rumination. Rumination is basically a pattern of repetitive thoughts, and usually with depression, those aren't good thoughts. So you want to do whatever you can to interrupt that constant negative, voice in your head. And for anxiety,
it like depression helps reduce stress, and also it breaks the kind of cycle of anxiety getting worse. I mean, it stops it from building and building and building until you get to the point where you're just completely freaking out.
So what we're going to do in this video is we're first going to talk about non-meditation activities, and then we're going to talk about mindfulness meditation, and then at the end we'll have a 3-minute breathing meditation to help you just jump into it if you want to see what it's like. Okay, so some mindfulness activities that have gotten really popular are one of them is coloring for adults. So the first adult coloring book that came out that I know of, at least, was The Secret Garden by Joanna Basford, and that was about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's just kind of exploded since then. So you have, when we say adult coloring books, most of them aren't like adult coloring books. It just means that they don't have the like really big areas like they do for kids, where
Like at a restaurant where you throw some crayons and a coloring thing at kids and say, hey, if you're bored, do this. It's not Mickey Mouse. It's
actually they do have some Mickey Mouse ones, but again, what it comes down to is the sections, because usually you're using colored pencils in these adult ones because crayons would be too big. But I mean, so think about when you were a kid also, when you were coloring, how calming that could be, assuming you didn't get like stressed out by getting it right in the lines like some of us did. Yeah, okay, so I did. So maybe it wasn't totally calming. But if you, even if you were a little OCD, then it still was calming. And for me, we used to do it when we visited my grandparents in Florida, and we'd swim in the morning. In the afternoon, my grandparents didn't know what to do with us.
So they threw a coloring book at you.
Well, actually, I think my mom got the coloring books, because I remember like coloring the dresses of Henry VIII's wives.
Of course, that's the kind of one she'd get.
Well, anyway, but so I mean, well, they were, they weren't fun, but anyway, so they were calming. Sorry, tangent alert. Anyway, so but some of the ones that have come out are for the adult coloring books. I mean, there's a huge variety. So you have some that are like just pretty ones, like The Secret Garden, and Joanna Basford has come out with a bunch of other ones like Under the Sea and etc. And then you have some that are revolve around like cult TV shows or movies. You have
like Doctor Who.
Right, Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, Star Trek.
I still haven't watched any Game of
Thrones.
Whatever.
Maybe when you're a little older. Okay.
Sure.
No, seriously. It was on HBO for a reason. Anyway, so Seriously, please.
You can't stop me.
Just wait a couple of years, okay?
You can't
1
stop
year.
me.
Give me 1 year. And then you have the kind of more traditional ones like Thomas Kincaid and Disney did some. Well, Thomas Kincaid's estate. He's this artist who does these really pretty paintings, and like fairies and sugar skulls. And then you have some really kind of out there ones like people of Walmart.
Oh,
and
yeah. I actually remember seeing that.
Cat butts, dog butts. Celebrity mugshots. So the thing is also that there are that you may find with a really pretty simple design that your mind is wandering, which is actually what you don't want. This is mindfulness, and the point is to be concentrating on exactly what you're doing and not having other thoughts intrude. So if you find these are not complicated enough, then you could do some of the more complex patterns like mandalas, and just there are lots that are really, really tiny, so you have to focus. And so then another thing that's kind of similar to that is called Zentangle. And I found out about this when I took a course, class, anyway, at my workplace on activities for de-stressing. And
Actually, I think I heard about it once at school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think one of my friends had this book of just
yeah, it's well, so the good thing about it is I can't draw. And I can't draw.
Same.
Well, so I can't draw long straight lines, especially, or even long curved lines.
Yeah.
So the thing with Zentangle is, though, almost everything is made up of short lines and like small circles, and so it's something you can do if you're not good at drawing. So, for instance, you can see in this picture of a Zentangle design that everything except the shapes, the main large shapes of the burger and the cup and like the French fry box, everything else is made up of mainly of short lines and little circles, and so it's something you can do even if you can't draw like us. So basically, you could just do it yourself, like just start doing it yourself and create abstract forms, and that's obviously perfectly fine. As you can see from the picture, sometimes people turn these into full pictures or art, so non-abstract art. And but it's good to start off with a video. So I've linked to a video that actually has instructions. So like the way people make money on this is the instructions on how to do it. So but it's really pretty interesting. I did it for about 20 minutes and it was pretty absorbing. So so it's something I would definitely suggest trying. And the other suggestion I have is try crafts. I knit, and one of the reasons I started doing it was because, first of all, I wanted something, because I was on my phone and on the computer a lot, on my smartphone back in 2005, my Palm Pilot maybe it was, I don't remember, and on my computer, and I needed something that was not technical at all. I just needed something that was not related to technology for at least some part of the day. But the other thing is that, for instance, when I'm doing lace patterns in knitting, I have to focus on it. So I have some knitting I can do when I'm watching TV or sitting with people talking, like at mom and dad's house on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because you don't want to talk to the family.
No, it's not that.
Yes, it is.
It's not that.
Yes, it is.
It's just that for me, just to sit there and talk, it's because of ADHD, it's not enough for me. I have to do something else at the same time. But when I want to have a mindfulness activity, especially because it's portable, then I do something like I'll have several projects, and I'll use a lace one or one that's intricate, and then I have to totally focus on that. Anyway, with crafts, what there are so many different crafts you can do. So it can be knitting, it can be jewelry making, it can be sculpting, woodworking, glass blowing, metalworking. I mean, there's just think about trying different crafts and seeing if one, first of all, gives you that sense of calm. So not necessarily the mindfulness, but just something that calms you. And then also it would be good if there's one where you do have to be totally absorbed in what you're doing, because then that is a great mindfulness activity, and then you have something to show for it at the end of it.
Like woodworking with a power saw, you don't want to get your fingers cut
Well,
off.
right. Or glass blowing, clearly, same thing.
You don't want molten glass.
No,
You?
so you have to focus completely on what you're doing. So that was, I think, what my contribution. You were going to talk about mindfulness meditation.
Meditation. What she told me to do in elementary school because I wouldn't calm down.
Okay, mindfulness meditation, because just plain old meditation. There's transcendental meditation. There's the kind where you just sit there and say Om over and over, which I tried, and well, it didn't work. Or staring at a candle or something. So this is just specifically mindfulness meditation.
Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
All right. I mean, personally, I use Headspace, and I would recommend it to anybody who's like trying to like test it out. Because Headspace is, first of all, well known. Second of all, it's actually decent. Well, more than decent, but I don't know. I use it personally, and I mean, I've been slacking on it recently. I haven't been actually meditating. Don't follow my example.
Well, no, I mean, but that's the thing is you're gonna slack. I had a couple of weeks where I didn't do it at all. I mean, and then I just got back into it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
The other thing I just want to point out is you can use the free version of Headspace for quite a few days, and it leads you through the process of mindfulness meditation. So it's very helpful with that. Also, Calm is another one that's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I started meditation again because I was really stressed about school, and it's actually helped me not be as stressed, because I started when I was like completely swamped with work. I had so much stuff. I was really behind because I am incredibly lazy and don't do my work on time. And so I started meditating. I calmed myself down. I figured out, all right, I gotta do this, this, and this. All right. And I wasn't as stressed, because at school, before I started meditating, I was just sitting there just thinking, okay, I have no idea what to do. I'm really behind. I'm gonna fail.
That's like the ruminating.
Yeah. And I started meditating, and it actually worked for me.
You had one just last week. You had a situation where you got really stressed over preparing for a test.
No, it wasn't because I, prepared for tests. It's because I failed it.
Okay. Well, it's not. Well, yeah, but you have to. I mean, the thing is, you can retake tests in his school.
Yeah.
But he was frustrated about failing.
2 out of 10.
Yeah. So.
And I wanted to die.
Right. So, but instead of just sitting there and being stressed,
I actually meditated.
Put his head down on his desk and meditated. So, you can also just do it almost anywhere. As needed.
Although, personally, I'd recommend somewhere where there isn't, I don't know, like airplanes constantly going over, trains passing by, motorcycles.
Well, actually, that reminds me of something.
Although, that does help you work on the skill of doing it even when there is a lot of noise.
Because I do it at work, and I do it at lunch. I'm in an open office, and people are doing stuff at lunchtime. So what I do actually is I have it's white noise, but I actually use, it has a variety of different noises, white, pink, brown noise. babbling stream, rain,
white, pink, and brown. All right.
trucks, the sound of a truck. So I have that running in the background when I'm doing Headspace, because it helps block out those other noises. And so it keeps me from being startled by a noise and kind of getting jolted out of my thing. So, and there were a couple points you wanted to make about mindfulness meditation.
I would personally say it's probably better to do the longer ones, like some Headspace things. There's like the 3 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. Some of them are like
15, 20.
10, 15, 30.
Yeah.
And while that's daunting, like
well, you're not starting out with
yeah. Obviously, like if you're just starting off, you do the 3 minute, do the 5 minute, and then and work up to the 10 minute. And work up to the 30 minute in some cases. It's daunting, sure. Like it's like I'm gonna spend half an hour meditating. Jesus Christ. And that yeah.
No, okay.
It isn't. Yeah.
You work up to it. And I mean, and this is like learning a sport and getting your muscles toned by practicing and doing the sport. And eventually you do get to that point where it's easier than it is harder. So it's and again, it may be something that doesn't work for you.
Not guaranteeing it will.
Well, right, but you definitely want to try it for at least a couple weeks before you give up on it, because you'll have some good days and some bad days. I had the last couple weeks I have been completely distracted during my meditation. So like the last 10 sessions. And before that, I had some fantastic sessions. I mean, I actually felt really light. I started feeling really light and everything. It's really nice when it's working. Hey, so sometimes it doesn't work. It's not going to be a straight line where you're just going to keep going up and up and up and better.
Your progress definitely ain't going to be.
Your progress, you do well, and then you'll have a certain period of time where you're not doing well.
Yeah, like I'm in now, where I'm not doing any meditation whatsoever.
Well, yeah, you can't do much worse than that. But the thing is that it's still, even if you're not reaching that point where you're perfectly focused, it still feels good after you come out of it.
Yeah.
And you can use those short ones, the 3 minute like breath meditation or body scan meditation, for something like, when Lawrence used it for being frustrated about the test.
When I was on the verge of throwing my computer across the room. There's a specific one. There's a specific pack on Headspace called SOS, which is like meant to be if you're like something just happened and you're like either feeling a lot of anger or a lot of sadness. It doesn't matter. That's what I used, and I calmed down, and then I used another one, which I can't remember which one it was.
But it's definitely worth trying. I mean, it's so ubiquitous now. Sometimes you just want to like gag when you see another claim about what mindfulness does and everything. But you gotta just ignore all the hype and get down to what it really is and what it can do. And it's I mean, I have ADHD, never would have thought I'd be able to meditate. So the other thing is after you've gotten the tutorials on either Headspace or Calm, and you want to keep doing it, but you don't want to do the same ones over and over, and you don't want to pay for it. There's one called Insight Timer, an app that's on both Android and iPhone, and it's basically like a publishing platform for meditation coaches. So there are literally thousands of guided meditations on it. And it's totally free. You do have to sign up for an account, but there's, they have paid versions that are more advanced, but you can get tons of really good free guided meditations. So anyway, I think that, remember that at the end of this video, we're going to do a guided 3-minute mindfulness meditation if you want to get started. And so then I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you don't mind, please give the video a like. And if you want to see more videos about living with depression and anxiety, please subscribe and leave a comment below. Maybe if you have any ideas about what you've done, the mindfulness activities you've done that have been helpful.
Because channel interaction is good for...
We like hearing from you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for watching.
Let's begin. Get into a comfortable position with your back straight but not rigid. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. If not, try not to focus on anything in particular. Bring your attention to the points on your body that are in contact with the surface under it. Notice how gravity makes your body press down. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Do this 2 more times, and then let your breathing go back to its natural state. Relax your shoulders. Relax the muscles in your face, your stomach, your legs, and your hands. Now bring the attention back to the breath. Notice what parts of your body rise and fall as you breathe. Picture the breath going into your lungs and then back out. It might help to silently say to yourself, in with an in-breath and out with each out-breath. If your mind wanders away from the breath, just notice it and gently bring your attention back to the breath. Don't get frustrated or annoyed with yourself. This is going to happen. Now gently bring your attention back to your body and how it's pressing down on the surface under you. Slowly open your eyes. Take a few seconds to reorient yourself. And that is the end of our 3-minute breathing meditation.